I've got Brian White. And Brian, is there anything you'd like better than our huge beat on Wednesday afternoon?
I'll tell you what I've got a hankering for is another Tesla diner burger, but
A diner
it'll
per.
have to wait. It'll have to wait. It's just too far, Randy. The commute,
Yeah, that's.
unreasonable.
I see. It's only an hour from my house, depending on traffic, and I
And
haven't
you've
been there
never
yet.
been
I haven't been there yet.
weak. What you do is surely there's a reason you will be in that area at some point. Just double it up. That's what
That's
I try and do.
exactly that is exactly the plan. But don't call me Shirley. Grok,
Large building full of sick people, but that's not important right now.
Grok, Grok says that we are going to get to $675 a share,
Hmm.
or
By
even as,
by the end of this video. Good job,
or,
Grok.
or even to $765 a share, which, by
Oh.
the way, is exactly in my ballpark of what I think is going to happen if the following three things happen.
Mhm.
500 plus cars deployed with no safety riders.
Hmm.
Elon's compact package passes, and unsupervised is unleashed. Those three things. So I just said, look, you know everything else.
Oh,
You already have everything else. I don't have to tell you anything besides this. But with just these three things added, if those are the only three catalysts, where do we get? And it said 675 to 765 by the end
mhm.
of the year.
I've said this before. It bears repeating. We've only got another 2 weeks to get our votes in. If you're a shareholder, you need to vote. If you believe that Elon can actually deliver on this compensation plan, you need to vote for it because you can just predict how much your money's going up. I saw a lot of people on the first comp plan say, no, all those growth figures were baked in. And I say, bogus. Bogus. They weren't. Otherwise, all of Wall Street would have just
Right.
bought the stock and it would have been a self-fulfilling prophecy. It wasn't. It was years of fighting to get to the valuations that made it happen. We believe, I believe these are possible. And if that's the case, I'm going to vote yes. But if it's not possible, if you think that Elon feller is a scam, you know what would really stick it to him? Vote yes, so that he has to work for 10 years for free.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll stick
Again,
it to the
again.
man. Again. Well, we are coming up on the appeal.
Yep.
If for some reason the appeal does not is not successful and that old compensation plan is simply gone, which I think is unlikely, but then again, you know which analysts I've listened to on that regard, in that regard. I think that Tesla would just find a way to make him whole.
Well,
All that would all that would do is crush the financials, not in a cash way. The cash remains the same,
right.
but it would look really
Yeah.
bad on paper. Let's not do that. So again, guys, if you hate him, vote for it. And I joke because if you hate him, you're not a shareholder. You don't get the
Right.
vote.
Right.
Um,
Okay, so what do you think? 675 to 765, is that a reasonable assumption for the end of the year? I think I
um,
yeah, I think oh, I know. I did have one more thing in there. I don't know why I didn't jot it down. That at the January 2 shipments, that it would be at least 450. Oh
mm,
no, that's right. Now, this is interesting. That's why I didn't put it in here. So I said, now what happens on January 3rd if we are at 450,000 cars, 450,000 cars, and 15 gigawatts of energy deployed? And he said it would drop back down to about 650.
huh. Well, is it reasonable? No, none of this is reasonable. The entire ride we've had for the last 6, 7 years has not been reasonable. Uh, Unreasonable people are what's keeping this company in the news every second of the day. And I blame you and me. We are the crazy people. You can tell by looking in our medicine cabinets. Uh, Mine at the moment only has blood pressure medication and I'm out. But that's
Oh, no.
unfortunate. It's a whole thing. So what's going on with those numbers? I don't know. We have seen too many times where if I had a time, if I said, look, I have a time machine. I'm from tomorrow. I can tell you not what the stock is going to do, but what the news is going to be.
Yeah.
It is going to be a beat. It is going to be a miss. And you would say, I know which way to invest. You don't, because the market is deeply irrational. I don't know if unreasonable or reasonable would be the right words to describe it, but the market is truly desperately irrational.
I am.
If,
Oh,
yes,
go ahead. I was gonna.
what,
I have a question to ask you, which we know the answer to,
mm,
and it might embarrass you, but go for it. 1 week after an earnings call, on the average over the last 5 years, 1 week after the earnings call, has the stock gone up or down compared to the closing price the morning of?
I would assume it's flat from the morning of. What is it?
A week later.
A week later. Yeah.
I think most people will be surprised, up an average of 2.65%.
Mm, mm.
But it's been down as much as, I think it was, yeah, the as much as 14% down
Ooh,
a week later, and as much as 25% up.
ooh. Boy, those averages are doing a lot of the work there.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, we've seen big beats where the stock falls. We've seen small misses where the stock rises. It's weird. So let's talk about that 500 number you said.
Yeah.
If we have 500 cybercabs or robotaxis out in the network without safety hitchhikers, I agree with you. That is proof that we're ready to scale. Now, obviously, if you're at a 1-to-1 ratio, you can't really grow past 500. But if you're at a 1-to-1 ratio, they wouldn't grow to 500. It would make no sense. We got to do something different to get that part sorted. Why would we? We're not Waymo. We're not growing just to look like we're growing. So that means if we get to 500, I agree that that means an inflection point has been reached. And you start to spin up that revenue machine. And while I don't expect to see any positive revenue out of Robotaxi this year, maybe not even next year, it doesn't matter because it's there. You know,
100%, yeah.
yeah. If I'm running my locomotive with only 2 or 3 cars, it just means I'm waiting for more customers to hook their cars up.
Right,
It's
right.
it's it's still there. It still works. The tracks have been laid. That was the hard part. Now we grow.
So, as evidence of progress, we see today on Tesla's careers website 3 new cybercab related positions for Austin. Tesla's looking for a metrology technician, METRO, metrology. So I'm thinking maybe that's a city studier
Mm,
technician. I don't know, metrology technician who will work on the Cybercab's quality team, and equipment engineer who will work on the Cybercab's plastics team. Oh, I see. These are actually, I think, inside people. These are people working on the Cybercab itself, as opposed to the Robotaxi, networking thing. And then finally, a tool and die supervisor who will work in the injection molding team, all based in Austin. So there you go. What do you think?
I was with you on the definition of metrology, but I went ahead and looked it up anyway. It's the science of measurement, which includes the experimental and theoretical determination of measurement uncertainty in any
Wow.
field.
Wow.
So that changes my perspective. Uh, and the guy comes in, he's like, can't we just like study crosswalks? No, no, that's too uncertain. I think all of these posts are pointing us in the right direction. If what we saw was if what we saw was no new postings, that would concern me. That would tell me that there is some obstacle that is sufficiently large that it doesn't make sense to take steps forward today. Um, all of that is what I want to see, what I expect to see. What we really want, guys, is to know when this will be done. And I think Tesla would agree with you. I think they'd say, yeah, we'd like to know too. But this is so far impossible. and everything's impossible until it isn't. This is impossible. If you'd have gone back 5, 10 years and said, I want to know when Starship will actually complete a successful all legs flight, SpaceX would have said, yeah, me too. I'd love to know that. But Starship did a lot of things that were impossible. A belly flop, that's never been done. A kick flip at the end, landing an orbital class second stage, recovering a booster on chopsticks, a skyscraper sized building on guys, all of this is impossible. We don't even know which parts are impossible, but we're going to power through it and make it happen. Starlink's impossible. I mean, there's so many things. Creating a viable electric car company, creating a new car company in North America at all, impossible. So that's the real question, is when. If we knew that, if we knew it was in a month, if you knew that autonomy would be solved with a supervisor ratio of 100 to 1 or 1,000 to 1 in a month, I suspect you'd go out and start selling stuff so you could move more money into the stock. But if you were told that it was going to be in 10 years, probably not as excited to donate that last half gallon of plasma. So, yeah, when? We don't know.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of impossible,
Mm.
this would be really right up there with the impossible things. How about a a media company doing an honest story about Tesla? That would be in the area of the impossible. So what we had yesterday or the day before, I think it might have been yesterday, we had 60 Minutes in Australia
Ah,
posting a 60-minute segment talking about Tesla's FSD system down there, and it was a complete hit piece. So Carnon, Carnon, at Carnon, says, classic. 60 Minutes posted the full uncut drive of their drive when they did the hit piece on Tesla's FSD. Despite a minor navigation error, the car handled the busy Sydney drive flawlessly. None of the impressive clips were included in the original hit piece, with the presenter dismissing notable maneuvers by saying, what isn't this software capable of? And he
oh,
concludes, and he says, do better. So what do you think? Is there any chance that the media is going to give Tesla a break ever?
yes, the media gives Tesla a break all day, every day. We just never see those because our bubble doesn't share them very often. Those videos, those articles, those don't go viral. The negative ones do because the nervous Nancy's love to post them, and people like us can't help ourselves. So we engage too. So a negative story automatically has legs that a positive story wouldn't. You could find a positive story. You could find one and make one, but it's more work. So why bother? And you and I could be the ones out there making those videos, but we're not because it's a lot of work. It's crushingly difficult. Making something positive that's viral is much more difficult than something negative. So yeah, it's like when people say, I don't remember what it was. It was after the Starship's Test 11, I saw someone on Reddit saying, and yet the news is silent about this success. I said, they're not. They're not. Every one of them is posting saying this is amazing. Well, I haven't seen it. They can't control what you see. They can only control what they publish. So it's not up to, I I can only control what I say, not what you hear. So can the media be honest? Yes, it's just not very profitable. And in the case of these videos, 60 Minutes was kind enough to telegraph their intentions in the promos leading up to the event, the big video reveal. And it's unfortunate that they're dishonest about it. And if the reporter was saying, what can we do to make it fail? It's clear that you are testing to failure. When you create a new product, if you're going to test it to failure, the story isn't about it failed. Of course it did. We tested it until it did. That's the point. The story should be about what it endured prior to failure.
Yeah.
because whenever I get a new version of FSD, I take it straight to places that I know are challenging, because otherwise it'd be 6 hours of just tooling around town and intercity. And I mean, I'm falling asleep. Car doesn't care for that. So yeah, I get it. Will they be honest? Mm, that's the wrong question.
The wrong question. All right. So then finally, I was shocked. Maybe you were shocked. I don't know because I haven't asked you yet. We found out last week that Shanghai now has 2 million vehicle capacity. And this was from the vice president. So I'm trusting I'm trusting the answer. So were you shocked by that? And when do you think the other million is all slated for cyber cabs, or how do you think that's going to work out?
So I wasn't shocked last week. I was shocked about 15 seconds ago when you told me, and
Oh,
I heard it for the first time. So
oh,
yes, shocked is the correct answer. 2 million.
2 million.
Um, it is not cybercab capacity. They have no place to put it there. I think they would need a new facility. The lines are extraordinarily
So
different.
there was a so let me so if you didn't see the rest of it,
I
I'm
didn't.
sorry that I got you
Ambushed.
ambushed here a little bit. She said that there was an expansion that is being completed by the end of 2025. Now, what does that expansion look like? Is it more floors in between? Did they add another floor on top? I would have thought people would have noticed that. Did they pull out a wall? Did they do something down the street? I mean, she didn't say what the expansion was, but she said there would be the expansion, and that was why they would be able. And of course, we know that their throughput's going up dramatically in terms of the 5 seconds for cyber cabs and whatever it was, I forget the other day on the Model Y longs. So anyway, I'm sorry that you were caught flat-footed
Sure.
on this one.
So let me share some perspectives on that. The reason we haven't seen anything is because Giga Shanghai shoots down drones. They'll zap them right out of the sky over and over. And that's cost prohibitive. You can't be spending $800 to make half of a video. Uh, and that's exactly what, and it's, the sort of thing that would be illegal in other countries, but
Right.
here we are. So we get no footage from Giga Shanghai anymore, even when he's flying outside the perimeter, which he'd been doing. Zap it, zap it. Very hostile. Do better. In terms of where they could expand, that site is out of land. So what they would need to do is take something that's warehousing or
Mhm.
offices, I don't know, something that's currently used for something else, allocate that for manufacturing, move that other thing some offsite.
Right.
For the longest time to the, I guess that would be the southeast. I'm not sure. I'm losing my, that would be the northwest corner off the site. They've had I'm pretty sure that's the right direction, a logistics lot. That's where they kept their warehouse on wheels. Um, it could be that land they now have permission to expand onto, or it could be that they're using uh, the warehouse on wheels more aggressively and using some of the on-site space. The Model Y and YL and 3 have all been streamlined in terms of how they're manufactured. That'll get you another 5, 10, maybe 15%. It won't get you 100%.
Mhm.
So this tells me that there would be having to add lines. And if it is cybercab lines, we know it won't take much space to get to 1 million. But again, this site just doesn't have space. It is covered in buildings. And again, just a muddy field, Randy, just a watermelon
Yes,
patch.
I know, I know. No, they said this would make it obviously the largest EV car manufacturing facility in the world. I think it may be,
Wouldn't,
isn't it already? No, EV?
no,
Oh,
no. BYD's got one that's so much larger. That's basically 2 miles by 2 miles.
oh no, I think they meant units.
Oh,
2 million a year.
mm, yeah, that would definitely be
Yeah.
for one location.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be eye-wateringly
I-
huge. Yeah.
Well, speaking of eye-wateringly huge, no, I say I don't, my eyes are not watering yet, but maybe they will be. I don't know. Do you have anything really eye-watering to say, or should we just conclude before I dig myself deeper into a hole of,
I, I'm not saying I'm calling HR. I'm just saying they're probably going to see this video, so you can expect a call. Shanghai cannot be taken for granted. China is a manufacturing powerhouse. Tesla is very good at manufacturing. You combine the two, and what you wind up with is China speed plus Tesla speed, and China quality plus Tesla quality. And critics would say, well, that's two things I hate. Great. That just tells me you don't know enough about China or Tesla.
Yes.
China makes good products. You never see anyone say, oh, you bought an iPhone? Ugh, Foxconn junk. Doesn't make sense. They know how to manufacture, and what they really know how to do is keep their supply chain close together and effective. When I interviewed Dr. Scott Walter recently about bots, I said, does anyone have the ability to match Tesla's manufacturing prowess? And he said, well, I mean, Boston Dynamics is owned by Hyundai. They're very good at manufacturing, but the real answer is everyone in China. A lot of the Chinese bot companies are owned by larger companies that do manufacturing. But for the ones that aren't, they're all located in the region where all the supplies are. They can just hop in the car, drive 5 minutes, and have a conversation with the supplier to get exactly what they need, where US companies have to wait until the middle of the night, have a Zoom call with someone at the same factory in China and hope that they communicated effectively exactly what it is they need, and then maybe put it on a plane and get it in 4 days, where the Chinese competitor has their prototype 3 hours later. So there's
Been there, and done that. I can't tell you how many times.
people still have very outdated notions of what China is, and Tesla should be proof enough that that China is modernized and very good at engineering, very effective.
Yeah.
So I hope some of the China lessons are able to be translated to other factories. I don't know how effective Tom Zhu was when he was in charge of Fremont. That's maybe a question we could get an answer to as well.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hopeful that that's also true. All right, so I think that wraps this one up for today. I'm going to let you go, Brian White, and thank you, of course, as always, and also recommend that people go follow you, and also recommend that they buy your new book.
That's right. I've got a new book out. Yeah.
Yeah, it may even be available right now because this will probably be Tuesday night, and I was hoping to get it up on Amazon on Tuesday. So our book, AI Rising: How to Thrive in the Age of Abundance, will be out. If not Tuesday, maybe it'll be Wednesday. I don't know, but we should be seeing it.
If it does hit the bestseller on Amazon, which I expect it
It
to,
will.
does that make me a best-selling author?
Yes, it will. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Hey, there you
Yeah.
go.
100%. Yep. All right, Brian. Again, thank you. And to all of you out there, it's been great talking to you.